So good evening, it's Michael Groves from Dwarvin Enterprises. So we're going to start by just taking a look at a lamplighter and how easy it is to use fiber, because I realize that for many of you, you may not have used fiber as yet. So I'm going to get my wife to demonstrate this for us, and then we're going to go to the layout itself. Ask my wife to take a fiber. As you can see, there's a fiber in her hand. She can cut off any length of the fiber she likes. And it's still, of course, just a piece of fiber, but let's now just stick it into the lamplighter. And this is what you would do if you've mounted a lamplighter underneath the layout, and there's light. So you just stick that up into a building. So again, if we just cut the end of the fiber, we'll be able to see that it doesn't change the light at all. The light is still there. Very, very simple idea. Okay, so now let's go to the layout and take a bit of a look at that. So here's the layout that I use as my test bed for the Dwarvin lamps. What you see there are a group of swan neck lamps providing rather nice pools of light onto my little Rolls Royce over there. And you'll notice there's a church building over here, and that's quite nicely lit, and it's lit particularly at the front, which is very typical. But if I put my hand down over here, there's just a fiber that I stuck in 45 degrees, and it shines up onto the church. In other words, you easily spotlight objects on your layout using fibers, and I really like that idea. So over here, for example, there's a children's playground, and there's a flag up here that's lit, but if I put my hand in front of the light, there it is, unlit, unlit. And again, all I did was take a fiber and put it in at 45 degrees. Now, one of the other features, though, is when lighting buildings, one of the things I do is I'll put usually aluminum foil on the inside, as well as putting parchment paper over the windows. And that allows us to have a diffuse light from the building, which looks a lot more attractive. One of the rooms actually hasn't got parchment paper, and in fact you can see inside, and it's a bedroom. The building to the right there, actually on the ground floor, does not have anything in the windows. What I did was I actually put, you can see maybe the fiber in there, and I just put some material over the fiber so as to create, again, a diffuse light. So it's very easy to change the way lighting goes on in a building. So one of the other features I'd like to show you is a billboard. Very simple to mount on top of a building, as you might typically see in an industry or industrial area rather. And then along the waterfront, I have my globe lamps, and you can't probably see them quite well, but they're in terms of color, but I've actually painted them a little bit yellow orange. There's a industrial building lamp over the front of the building here. You can see that light there. That industrial building lamp provides a very nice light. Now, one of the special things on my layout is this English pub. And the English pub, you can probably see, has got lights on the front of it, so it's got basically Christmas lights. And those are created using fiber and just nicking the fiber and then painting those nicks where the light comes out. But inside the building, we've actually got carpeting and tables and chairs, as you'd expect inside a typical English pub. And again, it's just lit there with fibers. But you can also see there's the benches outside with the umbrellas on the top. And once again, those are lit using a fiber very, very simply. And so it adds a nice effect. And then go across and even into a tree. There's little, what I call fairy lights stuck up into the tree. So you can really create some very nice scenery with fiber optic lighting. One of the things I'll do now is take you underneath the layout and show you what's going on underneath. So if we go underneath, so I've got my panel of switches there, and then there's the fibers. There's two lamp lighters there. Can't see them terribly well. Let's move closer. Lamplighter 2 and a lamplighter 1. Lots of fibers coming out of those and going up into the layout. So this afternoon I decided that it was an awful mess because I'd not cared for how the length of fiber and where the fibers went. So I took all the fibers out and redid them this afternoon. So you can imagine that would be a very long job if I was using wiring and soldering, but instead with fibers it was a very simple job. So one of the other features in this layout that I've got a diorama down here, and this uses, you can see actually some industrial building lamps again there, and even over the door it's actually just a fiber that's stuck there underneath a cover, and it just provides nice lighting down there. So again, very simple to do, but also provided some signage over the top. I don't think you can really see it. It says Dwarvin Enterprises. So it's printed on transparent paper, but all I did was take some fibers, scrape them, bend them in a right angle, and they become a fluorescent light background. But again, it doesn't seem to show up very well on the camera. So once again, very simple layout in terms of putting fibers up into the buildings and the various street lights, and then running them into the two lamplighters that are there. Now, one of the other features we've got down here is what we're calling a DFL unit. It's a dedicated flasher unit, and this allows us to actually run a railroad crossing. So let's in fact run that railroad crossing. I'm just going to put a train on, and we'll see what happens as the train goes past. So let's put a train on. It's a European train. I've really enjoyed the European trains, having lived in Germany for a while. So there it is running along, going behind the English pub. Yep, different sound from you get from an American train. But it's going to go past some detectors right now, and we're going to see something happen immediately. Yes, there it goes. So now we've got the railroad crossings. And away it goes. So that's extremely simple to put together. And I'll just go back underneath again, and you'll see here, there's the flasher unit, and you can see the lights flashing. And what we've done is we've just taken some fibers and we stick them into what we call fiber chimneys, and we wire up the detectors and bell, and we've got it. So very simple design. So there's the train heading off. There's a detector that's just over here, and after it's gone past that detector, the whole system will be turning off again. So there we have it. So that gives you some idea of some of the different lighting systems that you can put together, and those are some of my favorite ones that are on my layout. So thanks for watching, and we hope model railroading is still fun for you, including bringing your scenery to life with fiber optic lighting. Remember the slogan, lighting without wiring. It will put a smile on your face.